give the call to the member for Adelaide.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, my question is to the Minister for Climate Change and Energy. How is the Albanese Labor government taking action to put downward pressure on energy prices? What has been the response to these actions?
Order. 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 Members on my left. The Minister will resume his seat. Order. Members on my left will cease interjecting. I'll issue a general warning if this behaviour continues. I could not hear the member for Adelaide. I want to hear questions in silence, because if I get questions or points of order, I need to know what the question was. I think that's pretty clear. Give the call to the member for Adelaide.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, my question is to the Minister for Climate Change and Energy. How is the Albanese Labor government taking action to put downward pressure on energy prices? What has been the response to these actions?
Give a call to the Minister for Climate Change and Energy.
Well, thanks, Mr Speaker. I thank the honourable member for the question about the government's action on power prices and the response. And we've heard some of the response just then, Mr Speaker, from those opposite. The response from those opposite who see this as a laughing matter and something to play politics with, Mr Speaker. But Australians know that governments around the world are dealing with high power prices, and the Albanese government is dealing with high power prices and dealt with them last December, Mr Speaker. And we saw the same response from members opposite then, when they came in and voted in this chamber against lower power prices, Mr Speaker. When you walk through these doors, when the bells are ringing, you're making a choice, Mr Speaker. You're choosing a side. This side chose lower power prices, Mr Speaker. That side chose higher profits and higher power prices, Mr Speaker. Because we acted to cap gas prices and working in concert with the governments of Queensland and New South Wales to cap coal prices, Mr Speaker. And this is having an impact. This is having an impact, and it will have an impact in what we will see next week. We know that at the time of the budget, we made very clear, transparently, that the Treasury was expecting a 36% increase in power prices in 2023-24. Now, when you're faced with such evidence, you have a choice. You can hide it. You can change the law to keep it secret, Mr Speaker. Or you can, option A, or option B, you can be transparent about it and you can take action to fix it, Mr Speaker. We chose B on this side of the House. Others have previously chosen other options, Mr Speaker, but I don't intend to dwell on such matters, Mr Speaker. I intend to dwell on what we are doing and the impact it's having. And since that intervention in December, we have seen the forward wholesale price of electricity fall by 46% in Queensland, 41% in New South Wales, 48% in the honourable member's home state of South Australia, 48% in South Australia, Mr Speaker, and 34% in Victoria. These are reductions which this side of the House and the crossbench voted in favour of, and the opposition voted against, Mr Speaker. Right. That's what they voted for last December. They might as well. The Shadow Minister likes to hold up a sign. He might as well hold up a placard. What do we want? Higher power prices. What do we want it now, Mr Speaker, is what the Shadow Minister for Energy is promoting. That's what they say on that side of the House, Mr Speaker. The increases we will see in next week's draft default market offer will be tough, Mr Speaker. But we know, and the Australian people know, just how much higher they would have been in the absence of decisive action by this government, Mr Speaker, and how high they would be if those opposite had their way, Mr Speaker. They had their choice last December, they made their choice last December, and they made very clear whose side they're on.